Hello students, this is Dr. Ranjini, Assistant Professor in Biotechnology. Welcome to e-learning session in Microbial Technology. Today in this session, we learn how the microorganism get energy or how this glucose gets converted into 3-carbon compound later that serves as the source of energy in aerobic condition or in anaerobic condition. Respiration is a catabolic mechanism during which energy is conserved with the involvement of molecular oxygen in case of aerobic respiration or some other externally derived electron acceptor in case of anaerobic respiration. So aerobic and anaerobic condition respiration takes place. In aerobic respiration, molecular oxygen will be there, but in case of anaerobic respiration, we'll find the electron acceptor that is not oxygen but is something externally derived electron acceptor will accept the proton. Respiration may be divided into two stages, the first stage and the second stage. The first stage, the monosaccharides, amino acids, fatty acid, glycerol, and other products of the large biomolecules like polysaccharides, proteins, and lipids are degraded to few simpler molecules like acetyl CoA, pyruvate, tricarboxylic acid, other intermediates will be formed. Employing several metabolic pathways such as glycolysis is otherwise called as glycolytic pathway, Embden-Mayer of Paranas pathway, and you will find apart from the glycolysis, we'll find the pentose phosphate pathway, or it is otherwise called as hexose monophosphate shunt monophosphate pathway, and the another pathway is Enter-Dowdroff pathway or KDPG pathway. So in all this, 6-carbon compound gets converted into 3-carbon compound. Let's see how this takes place in the microorganism to generate 3-carbon compounds to form the basis for the generation of energy in microorganism. Let's take up the glycolysis. It's a catabolic pathway which proceeds through fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Hence, this is also known as FBP pathway. It's also known as fructose bisphosphate pathway. Glucose comes in metabolically active form when is phosphorylated on the 6th carbon by hexokinase enzyme by utilization of the ATP. ATP gets converted into ADP and glucose will form glucose 6-phosphate. Now, this glucose 6-phosphate is the starting point for all the three lytic mechanisms. This glucose 6-phosphate is converted into the series of intermediates like fructose 6-phosphate, fructose 1,6 bisphosphate, and later it will form the interconvertible DHAP and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Later, this will form the pyruvic acid. So this glucose is activated for the subsequent reactions by its phosphorylation to yield glucose 6-phosphate with ATP as a phosphate donor. This reaction, which is irreversible under intracellular conditions and is catalyzed by the enzyme hexokinase. And this hexokinase enzyme requires the cation like Mg2 plus ions are required for its activity. Later, this enzyme phosphohexoisomerase catalyzes the reversible isomerization of glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. So this isomerase enzyme will convert this glucose 6-phosphate into fructose 6-phosphate. Now, phosphohexoisomerase requires the Mg2 plus and is specific for glucose 6-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate. So this is the reversible reaction where glucose 6-phosphate can be isomerized to fructose 6-phosphate. Next, phosphofructokinase catalyzes the transfer of phosphoryl group from ATP to fructose 6-phosphate. So this fructose 6-phosphate will accept another molecule of phosphate to yield fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. This reaction is essentially irreversible under cellular conditions. This phosphofructokinase also requires Mg2 plus like our isomerase and hexokinase enzyme. The enzyme uh, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate aldolase. Aldolase enzyme, it is simply called as aldolase, catalyzes the cleavage of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate to yield two different triose sugar, that is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So these two compounds are formed from the fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and DHAP are interconvertible. Only glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is directly degraded in the subsequent reactions of the glycolysis, but these two are interconvertible. So therefore, DHAP rapidly and reversibly converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. During this reaction, there is the formation of NADH in the that is the oxidative phosphorylation takes place, and NAD plus accepts the proton and results in the formation of NADH. Now this 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is converted into 3-phospho glycerate. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate gets converted into 3-phosphoglycerate. In this reaction, the enzyme phosphoglycerokinase transfers the high energy phosphoryl group from 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate to ADP, yielding ATP and 3-phosphoglycerate or 3-phosphoglyceric acid will be formed. The formation of ATP by phosphoryl group transfer from the substrate, that is 1,3-bisphosphor diphosphoglycerate, is an example for substrate level phosphorylation. Now this 3-phosphoglycerate converted into 2-phosphoglycerate. In this reaction, the enzyme, the phosphoglycerate mutase, catalyzes the reversible shift of the phosphoryl group between C2 and C3 of the glycerate. And for this reaction also we need Mg2 plus ion. In this step, next 2-phosphoglyceric acid will be converted into phosphoenol pyruvate. During this step, there is removal of water molecule in the presence of enolase enzyme to form phosphoenol pyruvate. Then the phosphoenol pyruvate later gets converted into 3-carbon compound, that is pyruvic acid. Here there is conversion of ADP to ATP. ADP accepts the phosphate of phosphoenol pyruvate and will be phosphorylated to form ATP in the presence of the enzyme pyruvate kinase. So the whole glycolysis can be represented as glucose gets converted to 2-pyruvic acid with the utilization of, so 6-carbon glucose gets converted into 2 molecules of 3-carbon pyruvate. 2 molecules will be formed, and during this period there is formation of 2 ATP molecules and 2 NADH2 molecules will be formed. So 1 glucose will result in 2 pyruvate and 2 ATP, 2 ATP and 2 NADPH2 will be formed in glycolysis. So this is how the most of the microorganism uses the glycolysis for the conversion of glucose to 3-carbon pyruvate. Next, we will move on to the Enter-Dowdroff pathway. Here also, glucose will be converted into 3-carbon pyruvic acid. This is utilized by bacteria to convert glucose to pyruvate. Although most bacteria have glycolytic pathway and the pentose phosphate pathway that you will be learning in the next slide. Some have shown the conversion of glucose to 3-carbon pyruvate by Enter-Dowdroff pathway. The bacteria that use this pathway are mostly gram-negative and rarely gram-positive. The two enzymes which are involved in Enter-Dowdroff pathway are 6-phosphogluconate dehydratase, 6-phosphogluconate dehydratase, and the KDPG aldolase, that is KDPG aldolase, that is 2-keto 3-deoxy 6-phosphogluconate aldolase. So these two enzymes play an important role in converting the glucose into 3-carbon pyruvate. The survey for the presence of these enzymes in variety of bacteria has revealed that they are generally present in bacteria of Rhizobium, Azotobacter, Agrobacterium, Pseudomonas, Zymomonas, and several other gram-negative bacteria, and are absent from gram-positive bacteria, except for few, example, Enterococcus faecalis and Nocardia isolates. They exhibit the Enter-Dowdroff pathway. This Enter-Dowdroff pathway begins with the same reaction. Here glucose is phosphorylated to glucose 6 phosphate. Glucose will be phosphorylated to glucose 6 phosphate, which then oxidized to 6-phosphogluconate. Here it loses the hydrogen, gets oxidized to form 6-phosphogluconate. Now this 6-phosphogluconate will be converted into 2-keto 3-deoxy 6-phosphogluconate. So 6-phosphogluconate will be further oxidized and it will be dehydrated. It will lose a molecule of water and it will form 2-keto 3-deoxy 6-phosphogluconate. The key intermediate that is present in this Enter-Dowdroff pathway. Hence, this pathway is called as the KDPG pathway because there is the important intermediate that serves as the source of pyruvate, that is 2-keto 3-deoxy 6-phosphogluconate will be formed with the liberation of water. Now, this intermediate is cleaved to pyruvate and then glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate by the enzyme KDPG aldolase. So I told you earlier, there are two enzymes which are important in this Enter-Dowdroff pathway. One is 6-phosphogluconate dehydrases, removes the water and it results in the formation of KDPG. Now in the presence of the KDPG aldolase, this 2-keto 3-deoxy 6-phosphogluconate will be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and pyruvic acid. Next, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate enters the glycolysis and it results in the formation of pyruvic acid. So this pathway yields 1 ATP. It results in the formation of 1 ATP and 1 NADPH2 and 1 NADH2 with the conversion of glucose to 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. So this Enter-Dowdroff pathway play an important role in conversion of glucose to 3-carbon pyruvic acid. Next, we will move on to the next pathway that is observed in most of the microorganism. That is the pentose phosphate pathway or exose monophosphate pathway is this pathway forms a loop into the EMP pathway, for example, heterofermenter lactobacilli. The bacteria do not synthesize aldolase, which is needed to convert the fructose bisphosphate into two molecules of triose phosphate. Therefore, breakdown of glucose progresses through pentose phosphate pathway. So the bacteria which do not synthesize aldolase, which has to convert this the fructose 6 carbon compound into two molecules of 3 carbon compound, they exhibit pentose phosphate pathway. Here, this pentose phosphate is the common pathway to break down glucose to pyruvate and operates in both aerobic and anaerobic condition. This pathway produces NADPH, which carries chemical energy in the form of reducing power and is used almost universally as the reductant in or it is a source of energy in most of the anabolic reactions. That is it is utilized in the synthesis of many biomolecules. Example, fatty acid biosynthesis, nucleotide biosynthesis, etc. Also, the pentose phosphate pathway generates pentose sugar like ribose and its derivatives, which are used for the biosynthesis of nucleic acids like DNA, RNA, as well as ATP, NADH, coenzymes like the FAD and other coenzyme A will be synthesized from these 5-carbon compound. In this way, though the pentose phosphate pathway may be source of energy in many microorganisms, it is more often important in biosynthetic pathways because it generates NADPH. So that is the main source for energy in most of the anabolic reaction. So this pentose phosphate pathway consists of two phases. One is oxidative phase and another one is non-oxidative phase. Oxidative phase, there is generation of NADPH. When glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate is oxidized to ribose 6-phosphate. So that is it will be converted into ribose 5-phosphate. So till here, it is oxidative phase of our pentose phosphate pathway. So the oxidative phase of the pentose pathway, phosphate pathway initiated with the conversion of glucose 6-phosphate to 6-phosphogluconate. 6-phosphogluconate or gluconolactone, and later it will be converted into 6-phosphogluconate. The NADP plus is the electron acceptor yielding NADPH during this reaction. In the final step of the oxidative phase, there is isomerization of ribulose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate. So ribulose 5-phosphate will be converted into ribose 5-phosphate in the presence of, that is the isomerization reaction. And this ribulose 5-phosphate will be converted into its epimer, that is xylulose 5-phosphate. Xylulose 5-phosphate. This is also 5-carbon. Ribose 5-phosphate is also 5-carbon. So ribulose 5-phosphate will be isomerized to ribose 5-phosphate and also it is converted into its epimer, that is xylulose 5-phosphate. So now this ribose 5-phosphate and the xylulose 5-phosphate enters the non-oxidative phase of the pentose phosphate pathway. In the non-oxidative phase, enzyme transketolase catalyzes the ketolase catalyzes the transfer of the 2-carbon fragment of xylose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate. 2-carbon will be transferred to the ribose 5-phosphate, resulting in the formation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and 7-carbon pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate. See here, this is ribose 5-phosphate is 5-carbon. Xylose 5-phosphate is 5-carbon. It results in the formation of 3-carbon glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and 7-carbon pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate. 7 plus 3 is again 10. Now, this pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate and the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in the presence of trans-aldolase enzyme. In the presence of trans-aldolase enzyme, this catalyzes the transfer of 3-carbon fragment from pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate to glyceraldehyde, resulting in the formation of the fructose 6-carbon compound, that is fructose 6-phosphate and 4-carbon erythrose 4-phosphate. So here there is transfer of 2-carbon compound and now there is transfer of 3-carbon compound, and it results in the formation of 6-carbon fructose 6-phosphate and 4-carbon erythrose 4-phosphate. Erythrose 4-phosphate combines with a molecule of 5-carbon xylose 5-phosphate and it results in the formation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate. So these two, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate, enters the glycolysis and they convert this 6-carbon skeleton into 3-carbon pyruvate. So at the end, there is formation of 2 molecules of fructose 6-phosphate by the glucose and 1 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and there is generation of 3 molecules of carbon dioxide and 6 NADPH molecules will be formed. 3 carbon dioxide and 6 NADPH. This is the source of energy for most of the anabolic reactions. So finally, this fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate enters into the glycolysis and results in the formation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. That means to say this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate, again they involved in pentose phosphate pathway, and this reaction takes place. This results in the complete degradation of glucose 6-phosphate to carbon dioxide and production of great deal of NADPH. That is 6 molecules of NADPH will be formed. That is the source of energy for most of the biomolecule synthesis, like fatty acids or cholesterol, nucleotides, etc. will be synthesized by utilizing the energy of 6 molecules of NADPH. So in this session, you learned how this 6-carbon compound will be converted into 3-carbon pyruvate, and how the organism, they employ different pathway to convert this 6-carbon compound into 3-carbon pyruvate. So we saw glycolysis, ED pathway and pentose phosphate pathway. I hope you understood this session. Thank you.